Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. Let's start this video off with a recent update from the mutant Nick Walker, who is looking absolutely massive here. And I noticed that Nick did pull back on posting updates. He was posting about 3 or 4 updates a week. Now we're getting maybe 1 or 2 updates. But based off what I'm looking at right now, it's possible this is the best Nick Walker has ever looked. His upper body looks absolutely crazy. As far as the quad sweeps go, still a work in progress. And at the start of this offseason, Nick Walker said his goal was to add size, make improvements, but also stay fairly lean. Nick Walker did not want to go over 300 pounds this offseason, and it's crazy that a 5'6" guy is lean at 290 pounds. But a few weeks ago, Nick Walker said he will be starting prep at 20 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia, and we are somewhere around that. So Nick should be starting prep pretty soon, if he's not already in prep. So look forward to more freaky updates from Nick Walker. He's only going to get more conditioned. And in the next update of the day, we have a recent update of Hassan Mostafa ahead of the Orlando Pro. As of right now, the only other big name I know doing that show is Patrick Moore, so Hassan is probably the favorite to win. And judging off what I'm seeing right now, he does look slightly more conditioned than he looked going into the Toronto Pro. Hassan does not look as full as round. It's possible that he's flat. It's possible that this picture was just taken too far away. But the Toronto Pro was Hassan's first show working with Chad Nichols, and I would say they did a pretty good job. Most of the bodybuilding community thinks Hassan won that show, but he still could have been a little bit harder. Going into this Orlando Pro, hopefully Hassan is able to win this show and qualify for the Mr. Olympia so he can go ahead and shut it down for a little while. But I'm excited to see him on stage. Hassan is a freak. Now let's switch over to Rafa Brandão, who recently posted up a picture with his coach Neil Hill. Neil is down in Brazil working with Rafa, and he actually said some very interesting things. Neil said that Rafa has a physique that can win the Mr. Olympia, and next year Rafa is going to be significantly improved. In 2 to 3 years, he will be a very serious threat, and Neil said overall he has about a 10-year plan for Rafa. But based off his track record, I'm excited to see what these guys can do together. Rafa was 10th place in his Olympia debut, at a very competitive Mr. Olympia. And let's switch over to Michal Krizo, who recently posted up these images, and I would guess he did a photo shoot after the Impro Classic. But I want to give credit to Michal Krizo for significantly improving his conditioning in 1 year. I would say this is not something we see very often. How many guys have we talked about and said this guy needs to bring better conditioning, and it takes them years if they ever bring it? How long did it take Big Ramy to come in shape? Hassan Mostafa. In 1 year, Michal Krizo brought significantly better conditioning, and let's hope he also brings that to this year's Olympia. Krizo's goal for last year's Olympia was to place in the top 15, which he did, and his goal for this year is to place in the top 10, which I think is very, very possible. This year's Olympia is going to be even more exciting than last year's, and they're just going to get more exciting, guys. Krizo, Andrew Jack, Derek Lunsford, Samson Dowda, these guys are going to continue to improve year after year, just making the Olympia even better. And let's switch over to Stephane Matala, who recently posted up some updates ahead of the Portugal Pro. And I have to be honest with you guys, the image on the right, to me personally, possibly one of the most impressive bodybuilding updates I've seen this year. Stephane slightly reminds me of Samson Dowda in a few ways. The roundness throughout the traps, the shoulders, the arms is just crazy. And I hope Stephane is able to translate this look to the bodybuilding stage. As we know, a lot of guys tend to look better on Instagram than they do on the bodybuilding stage. And there's not a shot at Stephane. I remember watching Florian Porson go from open to classic, and he looked great on Instagram. He looked very competitive, but it didn't really match up on that bodybuilding stage. But I really hope that this guy is able to make it to the weight cap and even compete in the Portugal Pro. But one upside to this, even though Stephane is training multiple times a day, losing a lot of muscle, he's probably in the best condition he's ever been in. This guy's conditioning is next level right now. But hoping for the best from this guy, I really like his physique, at least from what I see on Instagram. But let's go ahead and wrap up today's video here with the archive of the day. Let me know in the comment section below who is this bodybuilder. And before you guys click off, I have a couple of announcements. First, thanks to everyone on the channel, we finally hit 8,000 subscribers. At this time last year, we were only around 2,000 subscribers. So huge shout out to all of you guys. And secondly, I did just get a promotion at my job from personal trainer to manager. With that being said, my videos will be pushed back a little bit later. I'll still be as consistent, but the videos will be posted a little bit later at night or either the next morning. But be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from GOAT Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.